And then can you take a minute and go through like the structure, at the top where epoch 786,
Hmm.
and then eventually what we're looking at, the TPU waterfall is a breakout of the highlighted area on that
Yeah.
timeline. Is that right?
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of have just some generic information at the top here. This is the net cluster that you're joined to.
Hmm.
Could be mainnet, testnet, devnet, development cluster, I think pithnet, and so on. We have the version of the software, and if you mouse over it, we have a commit hash, most useful for development. These are showing if the GUI is connected to the validator, so you might lose your connection to your own validator. Either it crashed or it went offline, or you just lost network connectivity. This will kind of go red or start flashing. And this is showing if the validator is connected to a block engine, so a third-party block provider. Here we're
Okay.
connected to Jito. So this is green, which is good. If you lost your connection to Jito, this would go red. Uh, and you can kind of tell, oh, we're actually not receiving transactions from Jito at the moment, but I think they were having some trouble. Um, you would see sometimes in the sand key, if Jito was sending us transactions, they will also get an ingress point here saying Jito, and it would flow into this verify system. Um, but we don't see that for these blocks currently. I think they were having some load at the moment.
Okay. So there are some cases where that yellow plug icon might show red, meaning the UI is up, but the validator itself is not running.
Uh, Correct. It means you were able to open the web browser, but it can't open a connection to the validator itself.
Got it. So it's essentially serving the page, but the
Yeah,
validator is down.
yeah. So the data will probably be stale. You won't see it kind of updating live anymore. It'll just be stuck.
Okay. And then this timeline, the different shades of blue.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, this is kind of navigational information around the Solana kind of epoch and slot space.
mhm.
So here we're showing the epoch we're currently in, 786. It started yesterday at around 10 a.m. This is local time, so 10 a.m. Uh, Central time for me. And it's got 20 hours left in the epoch. So it'll end tomorrow at also 10 a.m. The epoch's around 48 hours. These little blue bars, so this kind of represents the 48 hours of the epoch from start
Mhm.
to finish. These little blue bars are when the slots of this validator we're looking at were. So you can see this validator has up here in the top right some information about it. It's been
Mhm.
up for a week. It has 500,000 at stake. So that 500,000 of stake is translating into about, I don't know, looks like 100 or so, a few hundred liter rotations in epoch. And we can actually navigate around the epoch with this little handle.
Right.
You can see on this overview, it doesn't really do that much because a lot of this information is live. But when we go to leader schedule, you'll see that this is useful. But one thing it does affect is this TPU waterfall area.
Mhm.
Because we can kind of show recent slots here, right? When we were leader, let's say in this particular slot, we can click on that. You can see that it actually adjusts this timeline up here as we scroll this. So everything's kind of synchronized. And so this is kind of giving you a context, a little mini map view of how where you are in the epoch and how to kind of locate different slots. And so we can also click these. Um, and that's, you can't really tell, but it's taking us to that slot here in the TPU waterfall.
So essentially, that helps you navigate through the epoch
Yep,
on a
yep,
slot by slot basis, and
yep,
then where depending on where you stop on the timeline, then the TPU waterfall adjusts accordingly to show the breakout of the
yep,
information.
yep. And you'll also see that this thing kind of ends up saying, oh, you're in the past, and you can resume real time because we're no longer kind of have the live view for this TPU waterfall. So if we hit resume real time, uh, now it's kind of taken this epoch bar back to being real time. So now
I
it's
see.
just tracking the slot again, and we can resume this TPU waterfall from being live by clicking this, selecting the next slot. when not receive anything. But yeah, this is now live from what we're receiving right now.
Okay.
Yeah, the TP waterfall, it's kind of an interesting distinction. There's really two modes, right? You can be looking at a past slot, and you're really viewing what happened during that leader slot, or you're viewing the live view, which is saying what's happened since the end of the last leader slot until now. So this is really kind of like building up to the next leader slot.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will build up for the next 4 minutes and 45 seconds, essentially.
Yep. Yeah. So this has all these counters reset to 0 at the end of our last leader rotation, except the buffered one, which carried through the buffered transactions, and then it's counted up since then. So since we were last leader, we received 100,068, now 79 quick transactions, and 9,623 of them were malformed.
And we currently have 87 buffered, waiting for our next leader slot. Okay.
Yeah, and that's because we're 4 minutes out. No one's really going to send us transactions when we're not about to be the leader. So as we get closer to being leader, you'll see this buffered amount really start to grow.
Right. Nice. So if someone just generally wanted to check on the health of the network using this, they'd see the slots are increasing. If either a validator operator or a delegator was coming in, because some people had published their dashboards publicly, and they essentially take a look at the tiles, and other than the proof of history tile, if they see the tiles aren't pegged and they're not seeing any of those messages we talked about earlier, they're too slow, and the other one that I keep forgetting, they can feel pretty confident that the validator is running as expected and running pretty well, essentially.
Yep. Yeah, those are a lot of the signs I would look for. You have this validated section here, which is showing that it's connected to the cluster, right? It's found 1,342 peers. One other thing we can't see because the node hasn't skipped any leader slots, but if they had skipped slots, you would see these little kind of red warning signs up here on the epoch timeline. And so if they had a lot of skipped slots, that might also be an indicator that they're not doing something right.
Got it. All right. Good. Is there anything else you think is worth highlighting here for now? Otherwise, maybe we can move over to the leader schedule.
No, yeah, I think we can continue.